one thing which I would like to tell to Dr. Ananda ji, right from the day one, when you announced the COVID protocol in the morning times, Mani Lakshmi Didi has been practicing regularly. Even today, she keeps practicing it. So we always remember you whenever we start the program in the morning. Lakshmi Didi remembers you. That IYA protocol was started, so we also should follow very meticulously. She has been practicing it. We welcome you, Anandaji. Please.
Namaskaram, Swagatam, Vandanam. It is a great pleasure to be amongst my dear
Anand Balayogi Bhavan. Anand Balayogi.
It is a great pleasure to be amongst all my dear yoga family of Kerala, my yoga family who is part of the Indian Yoga Association. The Indian Yoga Association is an amazing family where we bring out the motto of our beloved Bharatam, which is unity and diversity. Because if you look at the Indian Yoga Association, we have members from all major traditions of yoga, all the Guru Parampara. And hence, I would like to begin with a prayer to Maharishi Patanjali, who has codified this beautiful system for us. Yogena chittasya padena vacham malam sharirasya cha bhaidyakena yopakarotam pravaram muninam padanjalim pranjaliranatosmi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Such a pleasure to listen to Lakshmi Didi. I have heard, read, and finally today I get to see you in person, though it is virtual darshan, and seek your blessings, Didi. You are one of those most amazing women of India. You have shown us what Nari Shakti truly is and what a Yoga Shakti is. So my prostrations, my Shashtang Namaskaram to you, Didi. Amazing work you have done. I won't call it work, it is seva. The English word work diminishes seva. Because seva is something we do because we witness the divine through other beings. Not just human beings, all beings. All the beings become divine for us. And the work being done through the Vivekananda Kendra, my own father and mother, Swami Geetananda Giri, Ammaji, Meenakshi Devi, Bhavanani. When I was very small, we used to go down to Kanyakumari and be at the Vivekananda Kendra. And I remember my times at the Rock Memorial, watching the young boys diving into the sea to get the money coins that people had thrown in. A very old memory. Coming into contact with Guruji, H.R. Nagendra ji, Nagaratna Didi, who's always bestowed so much of love on me. Ratna Didi is such a beautiful mentor for me in so many ways. And growing through this family and witnessing the magnificent renaissance brought about by Swami Vivekananda, bringing to life that vision that his Guru, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa ji had. It is when the Shishya manifests the vision of the Guru that the Guru Parampara truly comes alive. And this is why our culture has given importance to the Guru Parampara. And yesterday I had a chance to be on another meeting with Dr. TPS Shashikumar ji, and we had a lot of fun actually. One of the important aspects of a yogic life is to have fun. It shouldn't become dull and morose. We should realize that in yoga it is Anandam, Anandam, Anandame, Anandam, Anandam, Anandame, Paramanandam, Anandam, Anandame, Yoga, Anandam, Anandam, Anandame. It should be that Anandam, that Yoga Anandam, that Paramanandam, Sachita Anandam. And people think yoga and spirituality, they are one and the same, of course. But they think that to be spiritual is to be very dull and very drab. No. My father used to tell me, he said, Ananda, all the Swamis are given the name Ananda. Be it Gitananda, Vivekananda, Satchidananda, Satyananda, Muktananda, Yuktananda, whatever Ananda they are all having the name Ananda, the suffix. He said, if you meet any Swami who is not happy, he said, if you meet any Swami who is not manifesting that Anandam, go up to them and pull the beard and say, fake, 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 fake. That is what my father used to say. He said that bliss should manifest, the bliss of yoga. And yesterday we had bliss of yoga in our meeting, thanks to Guruji, Dilip ji. And the TPS Shashikumar ji and I were there, and we had a lot of fun. And at that time, I didn't know why I was feeling a connection. And the connection is through Swami Veda Bharati. Swami Veda Bharati, who has blessed me from my childhood so many times. And in fact, on my wedding day, sent me a special Radhe Krishna that is still in our puja room today, being done puja every day, remembering Swamiji. And through his students, Ritvanji, Stomaji and others, keeping track of that amazing pure tradition of the Himalayan yoga tradition. Today we are practicing plastic yoga. Today the world has become filled with plastic yoga, plasticized yoga, because we have become plastic human beings. We don't have any more feelings. Bhavana to bilkul nahi hai. We don't have bhavana anymore, let alone manushya bhavana. We have become plasticized human beings. We have become artificial beings, not even beings, artificial doings. We have to move from being artificial doings which are being programmed by people who are puppet masters. We have to become living, conscious, mindful beings who radiate the divinity through each thought, word, and action. Every thought, word, and action of ours should be with integrity. It is when thought, word, and action comes together and there is a seamless flow, no vitarka. Without vitarka, avitarka it should be. Without any vitarka, there should be that seamless flow of thought into word, into action. Then we become a yogi. A yogi is one who is an integrated human being. All the Panchakosha, Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha. They have to come together in a seamless oneness. That seamless oneness. You know, in physics, we have an experiment in schools where we put a cardboard, cardboard sheets, and we put a pinhole. We put a pinhole in that cardboard. On one side, we have the light, the source of light. On the other side, we have the screen. And by moving that pinhole and aligning that pinhole of the cardboards, we learn that light travels in a straight line. Light travels in a straight line, we learn in physics in school. When does it travel? When will the light travel? When all the pinholes of the cardboard sheets are in alignment. Similarly, when all our Panchakosha are in alignment, that pure consciousness of Ishvara, Klesha Karma Vipaka Ashayai Apara Mrishta Purusha Vishesha Ishvara, says Maharishi Patanjali, a very dear friend for me. You say, how can he be a friend? He lived 2,500 years ago. Every time I chant, Adha Yoga Anushasanam, Yogas Chitta Vritti Nirodha, Tadha Dhrashtu Swarupe Avasthanam, Vritti Sarupyam Mitaratra, Vrittayaha Panchatayaha Klishta Klishtaha, Pramana Viparyaya Vikalpa Nidva Smritayaha. Whenever I'm chanting the Yoga Sutra, he is alive in me. He is not 2,500 years ago. He is in the present moment when we chant, mindful of his teachings. When his teachings come alive in us, we do not practice yoga. We live yoga. Yoga is not something you do. Yoga is what you become. And yoga becomes you. I say you cannot do yoga. If you want something to be done, yoga has to do you. You cannot do yoga. People think 10 minutes, 20 minutes a day and I've got my quota satisfied. We are always stuck with quota thinking in our mentality. Always, I have done my 2,000 steps today. I have done my 3 glasses of water today. So I finished my quota. No. 24 hours mindful living where your Pancha Kosha, the Panchamaya are in alignment. And then the pure consciousness unadulterated by the klesha and the karma vipaka, that Ishvara can then shine through you and manifest, and you become Ishvara incarnate. We become Ishvara incarnate. That is what yoga is about. Not taking your toe to your nose and standing on your head for Instagram. That is plasticized Jada yoga, dead body yoga, autopsy yoga, postmortem yoga. No. Yoga is live, alive and kicking. And this is why when we talk about the Pancha Kosha, I like to remind my young students. I work a lot with children. The passion of my parents has continued in my life, and more than 50,000 children have benefited through free yoga in Pondicherry, today becoming yoga teachers themselves. But more than being a good yoga, I say if you become a yoga teacher, dance teacher, we teach dance, we teach music. I said, that doesn't matter. Do you become a good human being? That is what matters. Because for me, a yogi is a noble human being. It is said, once upon a time, we were Homo sapien. Then we became Homo sapien sapien. I say we have to become Homo nobilis, the noble human being. A noble human being is an integrated human being. And that human being is what a yogi is. Tapasvibhyo adhiko yogi jnanibhyo abhimadodikaha. Karmabhyaschadiko yogi. Tasmad yogi bhava Arjunaha, says Lord Krishna. Not to Arjuna. Every one of us is Arjuna. That consciousness of Krishna is talking to us, saying, you please awaken. And remember, when you go in life, there will be success, there will be failure. Siddhya asiddhayo, it will be there. Yogastha kulkarmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya. Siddhya asiddhayo samabhutva. Samatvam yoga uchyate. That is how we have to live. So when I work with the young kids, because I think by the time we come to my age, it's very difficult to change too much. But if you catch them young, we start at the age of 5. So when I'm teaching them, I become a kid with them. I think it's very important for all yoga teachers out there. Please understand, you have to become a kid with kids. You have to become a youth with the youth. And you have to become a vriddha with the vriddha. As Dr. B. Ramamurthy, the father of neurosurgery, told me, I said, sir, this was 30 years ago. I said, sir, I'm too young to say anything. He said, Ananda, you are not a Vayo Vriddha, you are a Jnana Vriddha. I said, okay, thank you, sir. I'll keep that for when I'm older. So now I have a beard which is a bit white. So then people will say, okay, white beard, maybe there's some wisdom there. Otherwise, to sab log bolte bacha hai. Because we often have that tendency that if you are young, you have no wisdom. Vidya, knowledge, has to grow into jnana. And then you know what? That jnana will not come any other way, only through experience. That is why India has always, Bharatiya Sanskriti, we respect experience. Because you cannot buy experience. You cannot go to a college and get a degree in experience. You have to live, and through life you get the experience. So what happens? Your vidya, your knowledge becomes jnana. But then by your sadhana, that is where yoga sadhana, yoga abhyasa is so important. Your jnana gets transformed into prajna. That prajna is what yoga is all about. Developing one's capacity for prajna loka. How you connect to that higher transcendental connection to the universe itself. So when I work with the young kids, I often make up a song. It's in Tamil, and Tamil and Malayalam, they're so close that I think about 90% of what Lakshmi Didi was saying, I could understand, because Tamil and Malayalam are not too far apart. Little bit of has to be added. I always say in India, you go to the north, they'll cut off the tail. They'll cut off the tail. You come to the south, we'll add a tail. This is how we do. So, yoga becomes yog when you go to the north, because in Hindi you cut off the tail. Yoga becomes yog. You come to the south, yog becomes yogam. Asana becomes asanam. Pranayama becomes pranayamam. There it becomes pranayam. Asan. Here we add. I say this is the beauty of South India. We are always adding. And that sound. What a beautiful sound. There's a beautiful composition. Devim Shakti Bijod Bhavam Matkarna Sharinim. From Muthuswami Dikshita. Devim, not just Devi, Devim Bhajarim Rechitam Balambikam, not just Ambika. You don't stop there. Ambikam, Devim, Sharirinim, Yogam, Asanam, Pranayamam. Because when you say there is satiety. With there is satiety. How was the food today? How was the session today? That is a sound of satiety. And so our South Indian languages, especially Tamil and Malayalam, we have a lot of added to it. And so automatically we become very content, we become very, very satisfied, self-satisfied, which other people cannot understand. How you guys down in the south of India are so content and smile so much? Well, it's part of our linguistics also. So what we do, we say the Panchakosha song. Because if the Panchakosha aligned, you will have Anandam. I talked about Anandam, remember? My father said, Ananda, I've given you the name Ananda. If you do not manifest Ananda, if you do not radiate Ananda, and if you do not give Ananda, you are making your name false. So he gave me a very good dharma for this lifetime to manifest Anandam wherever I go. It's even in times of toughness, you have to smile your way through and laugh your way through. Laughter is the best medicine. So what do? We say here, Anandam, Anandam, Anandame, Anandam, Anandam, Anandame, Panchakoshangal, Orunginendale, Anandame, Paramanandame, Anandame, Paramanandame, Panchakoshangal, Orunginendale, Udalai Balathain, Annamayathil, Udalai Balathain, Annamayathil, Unarvai Balathain, Pranamayathil, Unarvai Balathain, Pranamayathil, Udalai Balathain, Annamayathil, Udalai Balathain, Annamayathil, Unarvai Balathain, Pranamayathil, Unarvai Balathain, Pranamayathil, Manadai Kaipattrinen Manomayathil, Manadai Kaipattrinen Manomayathil, Anandam, Anandam, Anandame, Anandam, Anandam, Anandame, Panchakoshangal, Orunginendale, Panchakoshangal, Orunginendale, Ichayum Kriyayum Jnanamum Inainda, Ichayum Kriyayum Jnanamum Inainda, Buddhiyai Balathain, Vijnanamayathil, Buddhiyai Balathain, Vijnanamayathil, Ichayum Kriyayum Jnanamum Inainda, Ichayum Kriyayum Jnanamum Inainda, Buddhiyai Balathain, Vijnanamayathil, Buddhiyai Balathain, Vijnanamayathil, Prapanchathai Unandhen, Agilathai Unandhen, அகிலத்தை உணர்ந்தேன் என்னுள்ளே, அகிலத்தை உணர்ந்தேன் என்னுள்ளே, பிரபஞ்சத்தை உணர்ந்தேன் ஆனந்த மயத்தில், பிரபஞ்சத்தை உணர்ந்தேன் ஆனந்த மயத்தில், அகிலத்தை உணர்ந்தேன் என்னுள்ளே, அகிலத்தை உணர்ந்தேன் என்னுள்ளே, பிரபஞ்சத்தை உணர்ந்தேன் ஆனந்த மயத்தில், பிரபஞ்சத்தை உணர்ந்தேன் ஆனந்த மயத்தில், ஆனந்தம் ஆனந்தம் ஆனந்தமே, ஆனந்தம் ஆனந்தம் ஆனந்தமே, பஞ்ச கோஷங்கள் ஒருங்கிணைந்தாளே, பஞ்ச கோஷங்கள் ஒருங்கிணைந்தாளே. This is how I teach the Pancha Kosha to the young children. Then they'll never forget Pancha Kosha until their dying breath. If you teach it theoretically, nobody will understand. If you say this is the book syllabus for level 1, level 2 or YCB, QCI, nobody will take it. They'll pass the exam and forget everything the next day. Because our educational system has taught people, once you clear the exam, you can forget it. That is not what life is about. You give a 10th standard student, I challenge you, you give a 10th standard student a 5th standard question paper, they will fail. They'll fail. Because once they pass 5th standard, they think I don't need to know it. Once I pass 10th standard, I don't need to know it. Please understand, it's not like that. Every moment is a moment of learning. Every moment should be joyful living, joyful learning. And as my father would say, the moment you stop learning is the moment you start dying. The moment you stop learning is the moment you start dying. So we don't want to die too soon, okay? That's why we chant, Om Trayambakam Yajamahe. We don't want to get out of this body too soon, okay? Nowadays, it is a big threat, very big threat. The last 18 months, oh my God, as a medical doctor working in a hospital, oh my God, I tell you, seriously, I never believed. Today, Dr. Selvamurthy sir, 72 years old, 72 years young, he gave a talk at our university and he said, in my lifetime, I am 72, I never saw anything like this. I never thought this would happen, and yet it has happened. This is the time for yoga. This is the time for unified living. This is the time for mindful, conscious, common sense living with integrity. Integrity is the core of yoga. Thought, word, and action. As I often say, Sindai, Sol, Sayal. In Tamil we say. All three have to come together. Sindai, Sol, Sayalo, Ondrai. Sindai, Sol, Sayalo, Ondrai. Vilangedave, Parvome. Sindai, Sol, Sayalo, Ondrai. They have to come together. Because then only, Alaipayum manadhai, o nilai padate. The mind that is like the waves. Chitta vritti nirodha, says Maharishi Patanjali. Alaipayum manadhai. That's how the waves go. Alaipayum manadhai, o nilai padate. Ullirukum deva, tanmayai unandhu. அலைப்பாயும் மனதை ஒரு நிலைப்படுத்தி உள்ளிருக்கும் தெய்வ தன்மையை உணர்ந்து மனிதனாய் போராடி, the struggle of everyday living, மனிதனாய் போராடி மானிடனாய் வாழ்ந்து. We should grow into humane. From human being, from human doing, we have to become human being and become a humane being. மனிதனாய் போராடி மானிடனாய் வாழ்ந்து பரம்பொருள் தன்னில் நம்மை ஒன்றாக்கும். We have to become one with that பரம்பொருள், that divinity. So human doing evolves to human being, evolves to humane being, has to manifest divine being, and then just being. The ultimate goal of yoga is being, nothing else. To be, nothing else. Summa il, said Ramana Maharshi, just be. People say he said keep quiet. No, no, no. Summa il, just be. And that is the core message. Manidanai poladi, manidanai வாழ்ந்து பரம்பொருள் தன்னில் நம்மை ஒன்றாக்கும் தூய யோக தத்துவத்தை உணர்ந்திடுவோமே, பால் புகழும் அதை பயின்றிடுவோமே, யோக தத்துவத்தை உணர்ந்திடுவோம் உணர்ந்திடுவோம் உணர்ந்திடுவோமே. I think you got more of music out of me, but I hope through the music you got a musical yoga, because for me all life is yoga. People say, do you meditate? I say, no, I sing. Because for me, music is meditation. I don't need to have separate meditation. For me, music is meditation. Every breath is a meditative breath for me. So thank you so much to the Kerala chapter of IYA for this wonderful opportunity to be with you, to receive the blessings in person of my dear Lakshmi Didi, to again be with Dr. TPS Sasikumar ji, Sudhakar ji, Narayanan ji. I see all of you here and all the wonderful yoga sadhakas at the Shivananda Dhanvantri Ashram in Nayardam. My love to all of you and all of the yoga sadhakas. We are one family. And IYA from 19th is having its own bigger event. Every event is big. But 19, 20, 21, 22, we are planning some events. Announcements are coming out by tomorrow. And I also, at this point, before I end, I wanted to congratulate the Kerala chapter, because last year you brought out a beautiful compilation. And we also sent it out along with Yoga Vani, because no other state chapter did that. So congratulations to the Kerala IYA chapter for standing up to be counted. We love you all. We are proud of all of you. And thank you so much for putting up with me and all my idiosyncrasies. It's all just part of Anandam Anandam Anandame. Dhanyavadaha, Nandri, Vanakkam.